Hey Canucks fans, as good as Tyler Toffoli was, I think you got to put Brock Boeser back on that top line. I'm Clay Emo. I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, July the 8th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Before I get to today's topic, I want to thank you for the greetings. Many of you saw the 2 tweets I put out earlier this morning. It is the 20th wedding anniversary for me and my lovely wife, Gail. And I did 2 tweets. The first one was a picture from 20 years ago, Gail looking as amazing as she does now. Me, let's just say I've gained a few pounds during marriage, but that's okay. And then I also posted a picture from Mass saying, find someone who loves you as much as you love the Canucks. Well, speaking of that someone, this must be a special day because my lovely wife, Gail, has actually agreed, this is very rare, she's actually agreed to appear in my vlog, maybe for a minute or two, but please welcome my lovely wife, Gail. Woo! Say hi to 4,500 YouTube subscribers.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so thank you for 20 years of loving me unconditionally and forgiving me and putting up with me. But I'm sure there's a lot of good things too, right?
Right.
In fact, how would you describe me in one word?
You're a spaz.
Well, technically that was 3 words, but I know what you're saying. How about something more affirming? Say something nice to all those people.
He's funny. Funny looking.
Okay, well, thanks, Gail, for your time. I do want to publicly appreciate Gail and affirm her because you guys know how much I love doing the Canuck stuff, spending time, spending money, vlogging, writing parody songs, going to games, but I can only do it because of a supporting, loving spouse like Gail, right?
Right.
And you get to come to games too. What's your favorite thing about going to a hockey game with me? Or you can take out the with me part. What's your favorite part about going to a Canucks game?
It's an exciting game.
Yeah, and we have a good team, right?
Yes.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite player? Last question.
Bo Horvat.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you.
You want to show some affection? Okay. Okay, I had to basically bribe her to appear. Thanks.
You're welcome.
See you later. See you at dinner time.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So yes, it's been 20 awesome years, and in all seriousness, I couldn't do what I do here on this channel, as little as it is, but the daily vlogs, the going to games, the vlogging from games, the vlogging after games, the bringing other people into our home for our parody songs, whatever it may be, I couldn't do it without Gail's support. So I was grateful. You could tell she just loves being on camera. So I was grateful that she appeared here and was able to at least show the amazing chemistry that we have as a couple. Okay, speaking of chemistry, I had a great time chatting with Matt Sakaris yesterday in my Zoom chat. Got some really good feedback to everything he had to say. Blake Price and I, we're gonna have to mend some fences, but I think we're okay. And in fact, Matt and Blake were even talking about his appearance on the radio yesterday, so that was kind of cool. And keeping in the spirits of good Zoom chats, tomorrow morning I'll be chatting with Rick Dollywall, also of TSN 1040. Can't wait for that chat. Looking forward to that. So you can look forward to that by lunchtime tomorrow as tomorrow's submission in my Clay's Canucks commentary Zoom series. Okay, for today, what I want to talk about is our top 6. I know we're going to have a lot of time to talk about the bottom 6, our D pairings, our goaltending, although I don't think that's much of an issue. We can preview all of that in the 3 weeks to come before the Canucks play the Minnesota Wild. But I do want to talk about our top 2 lines. And obviously, before we made that trade for Tyler Toffoli, maybe necessitated by the injury to Brock Boeser, before Brock got hurt, we knew that our Lotto line 649 of JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Boeser, one of the best lines in the league. Well, I wouldn't say one of the best, but certainly, no, they were pretty good. When they were at their peak, they were pretty darn good. And then we had a second line of Bo Horvat, Tanner Pearson, and whoever else they wanted to put on the right side. Sometimes it was Jake Virtanen, sometimes it was Louis Eriksson, sometimes it was Josh Levo before he got hurt. So there was a rotating cast of characters on the right side. Then Brock goes down, unfortunately, but then they trade for Tyler Toffoli, and he has instant chemistry with Pettersson and Miller. 10 points in 10 games for Toffoli, many of them goals, many of them, making us hope with those 10 points in 10 games that he continues that, obviously, with the team, helps us succeed, and then signs a long-term deal with us. But we've talked about that in many other vlogs. But basically, Toffoli took Boeser's spot, playing with Pettersson and Miller, and then it was Horvat, Pearson, and still whoever they could put beside them. Still same problem, right? Jake Virtanen, Josh Levo, no, he was hurt. They played Louis Eriksson there. They tried other guys on the wing of Horvat and Pearson. But then Brock Boeser returns for one game before COVID shut down the league. And we were excited because now we had our bona fide top six of Miller, Pettersson, Toffoli, Horvat, Pearson, and Boeser. They lasted one game, like I said, before the things had to shut down, but at least they get to come back together and play when the entire league returns to play at the start of August. Now, the age-old question, or at least not age-old, the question for the last few months is, where should Brock Boeser play? When he came back to play for that one game against the Islanders, they did put him on the second line, I think for two reasons. They didn't want to wreck the chemistry of the top line at the time with Toffoli, right? 9 points in 9 games before that, or 8 points in 9, whatever. He had basically a point a game before that. And then they put Boeser with Horvat, someone he's played with many years before, many times before, I should say, in his previous 2 seasons. And of course, maybe I wouldn't say sheltered minutes because Horvat gets a lot of tough defensive assignments, which I'll get to in a second. But maybe it was more of kind of easing him into the lineup. Didn't get a power play 1 spot, ceded that to Toffoli, but could be a good bolster on power play 2, which he was for that one game. So really, the question is 2 right wingers, 2 well-paid right wingers between Toffoli and Boeser. Who should play where when the Canucks start to play again? So I think you got to put Boeser back with Pettersson and Miller and bring Toffoli down to the second line. Here's my reasoning. Number 1, obvious chemistry and familiarity with the Lotto line. With Miller, Pettersson, and Boeser, they played well all the way up until February before Boeser got hurt, and they were a really good line. I probably shouldn't say they're one of the top lines in the league because I don't know the absolute stats, but when you have Miller with the points that he was getting, Pettersson with the points he was getting, and remember, before Boeser got hurt, actually before Christmas, Boeser was at a point per game as well, so that line was a strong line for us. And now, in the second line, you have Horvat with Pearson and Toffoli. Pearson and Toffoli have played together before. They had Jeff Carter in the middle as the 70s line, that 70s line in LA, but they won a Stanley Cup together. We know that Toffoli and Pearson can play together, so there's obvious chemistry. Obviously, Horvat and Pearson will stay together as they have the whole season. And then you have someone with Toffoli who I think can also create a lot of opportunity. He can, he's good around the slot. He's got a good release from the middle. So Horvat's actually a really good passer, so is Pearson. Horvat and Pearson can do a lot of the dirty work and set up Toffoli on that second line. Okay, so let's talk about this a tiny bit more. If there's any negatives to this, if you have Boeser up top and Toffoli on the bottom. Well, here's the challenging thing. I think if you flip it, if you put Toffoli back up top, you're pretty confident that first line, no matter what, because of Miller and Pettersson, no matter who you have there, whether it's Boeser or Toffoli, that first line is going to produce. We know that. But then when you look at the second line, I actually think Toffoli could jumpstart Horvat and Pearson quicker than Boeser might. I just have that feeling, although yes, Boeser has had a full 4 months to fully recover even more. So, he could be just as good as Toffoli on the second line. But this is the thing, if things go sour, if things go the other way, I just have a feeling that would happen, that would have a better chance of happening, things not going well, Boeser struggling. I see that happening more if Boeser played on the second line than he was on the first line. So I think that Boeser could more easily become invisible if he played on the second line as opposed to the first line. Obviously, if he's playing on the first line, he's going to get a lot of minutes with Pettersson and Miller. He's going to get a lot of scoring chances, and he might get some easy points, right? A second assist here or there, a first assist, or maybe a goal, a snipe, because Pettersson or Miller made a really good play, drawing a lot of attention from the opposing forwards, opposing D-men as well. If you put Boeser on the second line, I think it's easier for teams to shut him down because I'd argue that Horvat and Pearson are easier to shut down than Pettersson and Miller. And Boeser, very streaky as we know, obviously some good, some not so good. I love him. He's one of my favorite players. So he doesn't go through horrible bad streaks, but he's gone through a few streaks in his first 3 seasons already. I just have a feeling that with Horvat and Pearson, he could become a tiny bit more streaky. He won't have the same opportunities to play offense and to get the easier points, I think is my point, really. And yes, I do think he would become more invisible playing with Horvat and Pearson than he would with Pettersson and Miller. The other thing is defensively. Horvat's line is probably, especially at home, when they're the home team, the designated home team with last change, you might see Horvat having to play the really tough first line of the other team, right? He's going to have the tougher matchups. So then you got to think, who's better defensively? If you'd argue that Toffoli is better defensively than Boeser, then it would make sense that you put Toffoli with Horvat and Pettersson on the second line. Not the checking line, but the hard matchup line, so to speak. And then you free Boeser up on the top line to run wild with Pettersson and Miller. So that's my thinking, is I think obviously it's a good problem to have that you're deciding between two bona fide first liners in Toffoli and in Boeser. But Toffoli, I could see him with the chemistry with Pettersson playing, helping get those guys going, and I would love to see the Lotto line reunited. Then, if things don't work out, if they're struggling, you can also always flip Boeser and Toffoli. You know Toffoli can play with Pettersson and Miller, so you could always flip Toffoli to the top line and Boeser to play on the second line for a different look. But if it were me, I would start Boeser with the top line, I'd put Toffoli on the second line, and then when it comes to the power play, that's a whole other story, and that's a whole other vlog, because now you got 6 guys who could conceivably play on 5 spots on the power play. Obviously Quinn Hughes and Pettersson and Miller for sure, and now if that's 3 spots, then between Horvat, you probably want Horvat on there to take draws, although Miller would, so say Horvat's there. So then you got to choose between Toffoli and Boeser to play on that first power play unit, right? Because there's only 5 spots for 6 guys. But then whoever doesn't play on that first PP unit can play on the second power play unit with guys like Jake Virtanen and others, and Adam Gaudette and Alex Edler, and maybe make a decent second unit as well. So Canucks fans, let me know what you think. The question of the day simply is, who would you put on the first line with Pettersson and Miller? Would it be Brock Boeser, as I'm arguing, or would it be Tyler Toffoli as they finish the last 10 games of the season off? So let me know. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply. You can also talk about my Matt Zakiris interview. You can look ahead to my Rick Dollywall interview, or you can talk about my quick 1-minute interview with Gail at the start of this vlog. Whatever you want to do, leave a comment. I would love to read, react, and reply, as always. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I forgot to say, subscribe if you like to, and like this video if you like to. Have a great day, God bless, and go Canucks go.